Patriot Life, Kevin Lynch, Marcus, what's going on? Max Tooney always checking in. Chris from New Jersey, my brother, and Tyler Foot Wrangler, what's going on? I appreciate you being a member of the Undefeated right here on Bama Football on YouTube. What is a member of the Undefeated? That is somebody who supports the program right here on Bama Football on YouTube. $2.99 a month to support the overall product. I think they called it a program. I guess it is a program. It's an organization which is called Bama Football on YouTube, which is what I do for a livelihood. So super chats, if you guys are just members, just hit the thumbs up. I appreciate you guys. On today's show, we are talking about Hugh Freeze, crazy comment saying that he should have been 4-0 against Nick Saban. Hold on there. We're going to go inside the numbers on that. We're going to talk some more AK Deer. He released some tweets yesterday. What's going on, Steven and Jeff? I see you inside the comment box as well. Jimmy Lee Baker, what's up, man? RMFT hitting the emojis early. We're going to talk about the AP football rankings. Bama is number 5, and there's some overrated teams in there. Look, let me ask you, before I start, this is going to be a very interactive show. Okay? Type, if you think Notre Dame is overrated, because I'm going to talk about, I always say Notre Dame is overrated. They're number 7 in the AP poll. Type in, what could we say for Notre Dame? Just type in D, I guess, Notre Dame. Do you think Notre Dame is overrated? If you do, type in D inside the comment box. I love the movie Rudy, right? I have nothing against Notre Dame. I just think they're overrated, right? Max Tooney's saying D, and Chris from New Jersey, I see you inside the comment box. Everybody's saying D. All right. We got, I want to talk about Alabama's toughest road game. You got some tough road games. Not going to lie. Going to talk about the top Alabama duo. And a lot of these, I'm going to need your help. So I'm going to go to the Undefeated on a lot of those. We got 89 up in the house as the show kicks off. We can get 89 thumbs up. I'd appreciate it. Kyle Anderson of Bama Football on YouTube, coming to you from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. We're going to talk about the top freshmen other than Hollywood Ryan Williams, okay? And we're going to talk about J.R. Gardner, all right? We need to talk about this young man who's a running back for the Alabama Crimson Tide. We talked about all the big guns, but we need to talk about J.R. Gardner. That'll be coming up later on the show. Remember, we're also on Spotify, okay? All right, leading off the show, we'll get into it. Hugh Freeze with some interesting comments yesterday. This was on the Marty and McGee show. Now, he did start off by saying, look, Nick Saban is incredible, but he also said this: I should have 4 wins against Nick Saban. Hold on here. All right, look, last year couldn't stop a 4th and 31, and I asked this on Facebook too. We have a Facebook channel, on TikTok, all that stuff, and I simply said on Facebook, I was like, what is Hugh Freeze's problem? Right? And Jimmy Lee Baker's like, shoulda, woulda, coulda. I should have, right? I should have, got the horseshoe around the ringer, right? Doesn't really count. Could have put away, Alabama last year, I guess. But also, you couldn't even put away my alma mater, New Mexico State. By the way, Diego Pavia is still living his best life after body slamming that dude from Auburn. That was one of the best highlights. I knew New Mexico State was going to win that game. From that, I don't get to talk about my Aggies often, right? But beating Auburn in the crazy, that was a wild turn of events for New Mexico State to be able to beat Auburn. And you know what they said after the game? Even Auburn players were like, we didn't even really practice for New Mexico State. Okay, so look, some of those teams for Ole Miss, they've had some wild games in Oxford. Even Nick Saban said that. You look to the games that Ole Miss was able to beat Alabama, right? 2015, 2014, 34 to, or Alabama 37, 34, whatever it was. In 2014, Ole Miss beats Alabama. Look, I think Hugh Freeze certainly played Nick Saban close. But in terms of having 4 wins against Coach Saban, and I think it was, in 2016 where Ole Miss was up by, what were they up by, almost 3 scores? Something like that, and they're not able to close the game. So, really, you couldn't close the door on Coach Saban. And, you couldn't stop that 4th and 31. The 4th and 31, okay, I know a lot of people don't like to talk about Isaiah Bond. The team last year included him, and the play included him. That was one of the most gutsy plays that I've seen in college football, right? We've seen a lot of, the 2nd and 26, the 4th and 31. Man, The funniest thing was if you were watching, like they did all the fan reactions. There's someone on TikTok, I forget his name. He does some great like fan reactions. And my favorite one last year from the 4th and 31 was when people were watching on YouTube TV and Jalen throws the pass, right? And like it freezes. And then they're just like stuck, and then they see the team celebrating. All right. All right. So Hugh Freeze, look, and when you look to all the hype that Auburn has been getting early on in this season, a lot of people talking about, their recruiting efforts, which look, they're getting in-state guys. They're not even ranked in the top 25. Look, I have the top 25 graphic. We're going to talk about it. I don't see Auburn even in the top 25. You have to win games. It's not about winning games in the past. It's not about, I mean, certainly the recruiting, right? It matters, but you have to sign these guys, number one. Number two, like the most important thing is you have to win games, okay? So you can say what you want, but, woulda, coulda, shoulda, and plus, you got to win games. You're not even ranked in the top 25. All right, point number 2, A.K. Deer. All right, he very talented running back, and we're always watching him, so much so that's kind of like nauseating that we're just like keep talking about somebody who's going to take his time in the recruitment process. Like, just let him do his thing. Now, he tweeted out 2 different graphics yesterday. I'll go full screen on this so you can see a little bit of a better viewpoint. He tweeted out one of, I guess that's him in an Ole Miss uniform, right? Nice graphic by Ole Miss. And then the other was him with Robert Gillespie, right? And I think, look, when looking at A.K. Deer, like, just be patient with this guy. I mean, he's what, 6? Is he 16? Is he 17? Which is crazy because Ryan Williams is already doing work as a 17-year-old here, right? But the timeline reads like this. He was committed to Ole Miss. I mean, he's from Mississippi, right? Lane Kiffin, that's exciting. He's an exciting coach to play for. Patriot Life in with 5 fan funderships. What does that mean if you're listening to it on the podcast? Well, people who want to, help people become a member of Bama Football on YouTube, $2.99 to get people in the door to support the overall product. So Patriot Life is a great fan funder supporter right here on Bama Football on YouTube. He was committed to Ole Miss. He decommitted. He came over for the recruiting barbecue, and I'll always remember what he posted on Instagram. It was with his mom. He's like, whatever mama likes. And they were at the barbecue. And look, people might have been expecting him to pull the trigger. He hasn't committed. He certainly seems like he's still an Alabama lean. Like, if you read the great reporters out there on the national level, like a Steve Fung or a Tom Lloyd from 24/7 Sports, like, these guys are talking that he's still an Alabama lean. And, there's rumors that Turbo Rogers could be on Flip Watch to maybe Auburn, to maybe Ohio State. I don't know. I mean, let me ask you. I'll defer to you inside the comment box. Do you think that A.K. Deer will land up a member of the Alabama Crimson Tide? If you do, type A right now inside the comment box. Brody, what's up, man? I see you inside the comment box. Thank you so much for being here. Marcus Lachelle, what's up, man? Brian, I appreciate you. And thank you so much. I wouldn't speak on Auburn. They're likely to surprise us. You know what? Auburn's always going to be challenging. I think that under Hugh Freeze, he's a tough coach to play against. I'm definitely not going to deny that. How they were able to run the football last year against Alabama was really impressive, to be honest. I mean, what did they post? 244 yards, a lot of misdirections, a lot of counters. I mean, yeah, he's a tough coach to coach against. You consider the magnitude of the Iron Bowl. You compound that Alabama will just be getting back from Norman, Oklahoma. Javion, what's up, man? I appreciate you. So, yeah, I certainly think he's a tough coach to prep for. But you got to win. You got to win on the field, and coulda, woulda, shoulda. Doesn't matter. And plus, I don't think him and Kalen DeBoer have ever met, so I can't wait for that matchup. All right, so we've got some good A's inside the comment box in terms of asking if A.K. Deer will end up here at Alabama. Redfish Talker, what's up, man? I also think this offense is going to be a nightmare for Freeze to stop, especially in T-Town. Can you imagine where the offense will be at that point in time, right? Oof. Kevin Lynch says 24/7 Sports has A.K. Deer 67% lean to Bama. I'll take that. I would probably feel it's even a little bit higher. Chris in New Jersey saying that you need Naheem Oford. Yeah, I haven't really heard too much on Naheem Oford. It seems like he's, really locked in with Ohio State. But hey, it doesn't take long for you to like. I'm gonna say this a lot. Ohio State loses a game early, people start talking. It could happen to any program, especially this year. It's gonna be hard to remain a cool program for anybody if you lose an early season game. Please hit the thumbs up. I appreciate you guys being here. 122 on right now in beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama, watching Bama football on YouTube. Alabama does have practice today. We will bring you post-practice interviews and highlights right here on Bama football on YouTube. As we continue to look at the topics on the show, we talked about Hugh Freeze comments early on. We're talking about A.K. Deere. I think he ends up to Alabama. I think something might go on with Turbo. It just kind of feels like it. And I think you end up with A.K. Deere, and you're going to have to take another running back, or you take a transfer running back. I don't know. But, you got to figure out what's going to happen at the running back position. You need 2 running backs, in my opinion. We'll see what happens. We're also talking about the AP Top 25, which was released recently. That was yesterday, right? Monday, August 12th. Here's a look at it. You got Georgia, Ohio State, Oregon, Texas, Alabama rounding out the top 5. You got Ole Miss, Notre Dame, Penn State, Michigan, and Florida State rounding out the top 10. Let me ask you, undefeated, which teams do you feel are overrated within just that top 15? Top 15, which teams seem to be kind of preseason overrated? I already said in the beginning of the show that I feel Notre Dame is going to be, every year we put them up in this top 10. What did they climb to last year, right? Were they a top 5 team? It was crazy. It's wild because they seem to be a media darling every single year. Redfish Talker is saying Notre Dame. Max Tooney is saying Penn State, overrated. Also saying Michigan is overrated. KTK is saying Florida State is overrated. That's an interesting one, Florida State, right? I don't know. Would I keep them in the top 10? I guess so. I'd probably keep Michigan in the top 10 as well. I would agree. Penn State, it seems like they're overrated. But I said this last time on another show, and someone said that they feel that Penn State might win the conference. I don't know about that. Texas, Southern Red saying Texas overrated. Texas has some. I think Texas and Michigan play early in the beginning of the season, which would be fun. And I think that game's up at the Big House. Ole Miss, I would imagine they're really good. Plus, I like the beginning of their schedule. I think it bodes well for them to win a lot of games. If I'm taking like my Alabama fan hat off and I'm talking about which teams I feel have, like Coach Saban said, and I know this is reverse rat poison, but he said that Texas and Georgia are his picks to get to the SEC title game. That's to get back to to the clubhouse. These guys know that he feels Alabama's going to get there, but I think Ole Miss, considering their schedule, I think that they might be one. Texas has a really favorable schedule in my opinion as well. Other teams, Missouri and Alabama plays a lot of these teams. They play Georgia, right? They play Missouri. They play LSU. They play Tennessee. They play Oklahoma, right? Still no Auburn in that top 25. Appreciate the 140 of you guys watching right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Kansas State, right? Kansas State at 18 and Texas A&M at 20. I don't know how good Texas A&M will be. That's another team I'll have to kind of dive into. All right. I want some fan interaction here, okay? I appreciate you guys watching the show. Thanks for being here. Kyle Henderson at Bama Football on YouTube. Okay. Let me ask you, what do you feel will be Alabama's toughest road game? If you feel it's going to be Wisconsin, type A. If you feel it's going to be Tennessee, type B. If you feel it's going to be LSU, type C. And if you feel it's going to be Oklahoma, type D. All right. Early interaction from everybody looks like B, going to Tennessee. Eugene Tate says D. Brent Jarman says T. I think you meant, I'm looking at the keyboard. What do you mean, Brett? With T? Tennessee? Oh, I got you. Probably meant Tennessee. Marcus is saying all of them. Jimmy Lee Baker is saying C. Javion is saying C. Good interaction here. Okay, while you guys continue to answer that, let's talk about each of these games, okay? So your first road game is going to Wisconsin. Camp Randall would be the biggest thing that happened in Wisconsin, you know, in quite some time, hosting the Alabama Crimson Tide. Lynn Shannefeld is saying B. While I think that will be a challenging environment to play in, it's an early game. The weather will be good. I think Alabama will be rolling at that point in time with momentum after early season victories over Western Kentucky and South Florida. And I think that Alabama, you know, takes it to Wisconsin. I really do. It'll be a tough place to play, right? On the road. And Jeff makes a good point. I mean, Luke Fickell, he's a really good coach. Probably an underrated coach when we talk about coaches in the Big Ten or the Big 25 or whatever it's going to be called. Good coach, seasoned quarterback. He'll have him ready to play. I think Tennessee will be really challenging. If I had to vote right here, I probably type C and then I type B. And then so I go C, B, D, meaning I think the most challenging road game will be LSU, then Tennessee, then Oklahoma, then Wisconsin. And here's why. I feel that since, you know, look, Kalen DeBoer, for all the great things that he's done, there's no way that nothing can prepare you for playing in Death Valley other than playing in Death Valley. Same thing with playing in the Iron Bowl. You can hear about it, you can read about it, but when you go over there and like play at the Iron Bowl, specifically at Jordan-Hare Stadium, I don't know what happens. It's just all bets are off. I don't know why. And I would imagine that LSU game is at night. I mean, it seems like all their games over there are at night. And I think, look, Brian Kelly, I don't think they'll have as good of a team as they did last year. But still, it's a challenging environment at Death Valley. It's super loud. The tailgate's crazy. Probably a lot on the line at this point in time. And I think, like Eric's saying, they have the players and the coaches to give Alabama a tough game. It's a rivalry game. We know that, right? The traffic is just mind-bending in Baton Rouge. The game on October 19th will be a game that, you know, will be really Coach Kalen DeBoer's first road game in the SEC against a big-time opponent. I get it. You have an early season game against Vanderbilt, which is also in Tennessee, but it's not Knoxville. It's not Neyland Stadium. It's a challenging environment. The last time that Alabama went up there, they lost. The last time they went up to LSU, they lost, right? That was 2 seasons ago. Those will be tough games. Josh Heupel, who would have thought that Josh Heupel would be able to do a better job than Jeremy Pruitt at Tennessee? I thought when Jeremy Pruitt left to Tennessee that he kind of get them there. It's been Josh Heupel. He's been the best thing that's happened to Tennessee. And Brian Kelly is not doing a bad job at LSU as well. Now, we can't forget about the Oklahoma game on November 23rd. I think, and we go back and forth about this. A lot of you feel that this game isn't going to be challenging. I disagree. Inside the comment box, do you feel that this game against Oklahoma on the road will be tough? I just don't see why. You know, I don't feel like this game's going to be a walk in the park. Does Alabama win this game 100%? But, I think playing on the road in Norman, it'd be another high-stakes game. Oklahoma's new to the SEC. And look, I don't know, call me crazy, but I have some respect for Brent Venables. I don't know if they finished Vanderbilt Stadium or not. I know it was weren't they practicing at like high school for a little bit? I just think, and who knows? Look, I'll tell you what, the weather in Norman, Oklahoma in late November, it'll be freezing. I have no idea what time that game is, but I would imagine if you get like a late kick against Oklahoma on the road, nighttime, it'd be tough. That game against Texas, too, that Red River rivalry game, that was fun to watch last year. There was a lot of intensity. I think it'll be a tough game in Oklahoma. So, for me, kind of rounding this out, I think it'll be toughest game will be LSU, then Tennessee, Oklahoma, then Wisconsin. Jimmy saying that Bama beats Oklahoma by 15. That might be the case. I think Bama has up and down a better team, better roster, but I just think on the road it'll be challenging. Zach in with the voting for Tennessee. I think Tennessee was the one that comes away the winner. Lawrence, what's up, man? I appreciate you being here, man. Congratulations on the PhD. That's what's up. LSU has to fully reconstruct their defense. Yeah. Man, those wide receivers last year were elite. My goodness. Quarterback was elite last year. That was a hell of a game. All right, we looked at the AP Top 25. How about this? I want more fan interaction on this. When you look, I was thinking about this. And type in a duo, if I missed a duo, or another duo that I was thinking about adding a wide receiver. I just don't know. I don't even know who the starters will be. Jordan, Hugh Freeze basically said that he should have been 4-0 against Nick Saban. That's what he said. What's up, Jordan? I appreciate you, man. Thank you for joining the show late. Let me know, Jordan, chew on that and give me your comments, man. He said he should be 4-0 against Nick Saban. Should have, right? Is there a duo that I missed? Or because I was thinking, I don't even know who the starting wide receivers will be. I kind of feel that the starters, will be Jeremy Bernard, Kobe Prentice, and Kendrick Law, but I don't know. I mean, what they were doing, I think there's a variety of starters. I mean, this Sunday practice, it was Ryan Williams, Cole Adams, and Jeremy Bernard. So I don't know. But when we look to the top duos, this is what I came up with. Just watching fall camp, I feel that Jam and Justice is an elite tandem. Tyler Booker, Jaden Roberts, elite, right? The guard position. Deontay Lawson, Jahad Campbell. Shoot, I could have even listed Justin Jefferson right here, right? And then I feel that Keon Sabb and Malachi Moore, safeties, I think those guys will be now that I've been watching them, I was watching them on Sunday. Whew, man, that's a nice combo, man. Malachi Moore is looking really good. Okay, so now I want to ask you for some fan interaction. You guys type in what you feel will be the top Bama duo this year. Do you feel it'll be Jam and Justice, type A, Tyler Booker and Jaden Roberts, type B, Jahad Campbell and Deontay Lawson, type C, and Malachi Moore and Keon Sabb, type D? John Glass is like, Hugh Freeze is delusional. Seriously, Freeze is nothing and he'll never win a national championship. Fact. Jerome is saying A, B, C, and D in that order. So A, D, okay, B, and C in that order. All right, cool, man. Appreciate you. Thank you. Angel from Pigeon Forge is saying A and B. No, Jimmy, I was thinking about this. This is another tandem. I didn't add it because I know that Grant Nicholson didn't have the best scrimmage, but I was thinking about how about Grant Nicholson and James Burnup, right? Isn't that a good combo? I didn't know which wide receivers to add because I don't know who's gonna be starting at this point in time. Marcus is saying B and C. That's Tyler Booker and Jaden Roberts and Deontay Lawson and Campbell. Dude, like, okay, I know there's tandems across the country. It would be an amazing article by someone who covers like national college football to put out their top duos. Right? I don't know. KTK, man, I'm telling you, this is hard. In terms of ranking these guys, this is how I'd have it, okay? This is my opinion. I would go with Tyler Booker and Jaden Roberts as my top duo on Bama coming back. I mean, going into this season, we know what each of those guys are capable of. Like Tyler Booker, probably the best guard in the country. Jaden Roberts, people just don't know about him at all, right? I think maybe they do, but he might have been Alabama's top offensive lineman right behind Booker last year at the end of the season. Ooh, I like that, Christopher. The most important duo? That's a good way to look at it too. And then I go with, after that, I think the inside backer duo. I think, and look, this is no disrespect to Justin Jefferson because he's right there as well. Eddie, what's going on, man? Thanks for checking in. But man, Deontay Lawson, man, he's NFL. He's gone. Jimmy, you said it. You feel they're going to be 2 top 10 picks. Deontay Lawson and Jahad Campbell. There's a lot of NFL guys within these, 2, 4, 6, 8 names, right? All these guys will be in the NFL. Which guy won't? Maybe, running back's tough to make it in the league, but shoot. Justice Haynes and Jam Miller. We just haven't seen too much of Justice just yet in game action, right? That's why I'm not putting them in my top duos list right now. And then I would say Jam and Justice, and then I would say Moore and Sab. Just because I haven't seen, Sab play, but I know what Jam is capable of Justice. So I'm going to go Tyler Booker as a top duo along with Jaden Roberts at the guard position. My second is Deontay Lawson and Jahad Campbell. Then I'm going to go Jam Miller and Justice Haynes. And then I'm going to go Malachi Moore and Keon Sab. That's how I feel the best tandems are on Bama's team. It's just crazy. Angel from Pigeon Forge is saying, Kyle, Booker and Proctor. Oh, man, that's a really good one, too, right? Tyler Booker and Caden Proctor next to each other. I mean, shoot. Because I guess you could even go into trios on this. I mean, you could just add, Richard Young. You could add Caden Proctor or Parker Brailsford. You could add Justin Jefferson. And you could add Malachi Moore. Right? There's some trios. It would be crazy. Okay, we have talked about Ryan Williams, and rightfully so, all fall camp. You know what's amazing about Ryan Williams, okay? Like, this is the most hyped up wide receiver, probably freshman. I think since I've been covering Alabama football for 8 years, he is the most heavily hyped up freshman we ever had. I think, in my opinion, covering in 8 years. He wasn't even here during springtime, so it's kind of like people couldn't wait for him to get here. He comes in the summertime, we keep on hyping him up. They're showing, practice footage of him. Jamarcus Shepard says, get your popcorn ready. And so, the hype is building. The very first scrimmage that Alabama has, he catches a 50-yard touchdown, the first touchdown of the scrimmage from Jalen Milroe. Right? And the crazy thing is nobody saw it other than, the people that were there, right? The team and, the assistant coaches or whatever. But there's no video of it. Just like that footage when he caught that one-handed catch, it was like Bigfoot. So all these things are making it even more mysterious of just how good he is. Now on Sunday, they did have that open practice, right? And we saw a little bit of, Jalen Milroe just quickly hitting Ryan Williams. I think they connected twice. Wait, did Antonio Coleman, did he really flip his commitment again? I didn't see that. Jimmy, is that for real? The show is live, so I'm always, chasing things as they happen. I didn't see if he I didn't see if he flipped again, so I'll have to follow up on that. Oh, Jimmy's saying that he flipped from Auburn to the Alabama Department of Corrections. Oh, that's cold, man. That's cold. Okay, so I want to ask you this. All right, we've talked about Ryan Williams, hyped him up. That was a good one. All right, I'm gonna give you that. All right, but who do you think will have the biggest freshman season? That was a good one, man. Who do you think will have the biggest freshman season other than Ryan Williams? Caleb Odom, Jalen Mbakwe, Red Morgan, Zabion Brown, or Zay Mincy? Who do you think he'll be? Type A for Caleb Odom, Type B for Jalen Mbakwe, Type C for Red Morgan, Type D for Zabion Brown, and Type E for Zay Mincy. Robert, what's up, man? I appreciate you being here, man. Thank you so much. It means a lot to us that you would join us right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Thank you so much. All right, so some early votes coming in. Eric is saying Mbakwe. Jeff is saying C, and that is for Red Morgan. Interesting. Caleb Odom from Anthony. What's going on? Christopher is saying C, Red Morgan. Southern Red is saying D, which is Xavier Brown. And Mr. Bama is saying, what's up, man? I appreciate you being here. Brent is saying E for Zay Mincy. Kevin Lynch is saying A all day. So let's talk about each of these guys. So currently, out of all these guys that you see on the board right now, one is starting, right? In C-Dub, I wasn't able to find out what was wrong with Daniel Hill, and I'm going to follow up with that after I talk about the freshman. So Daniel Hill, who's a running back at the University of Alabama, a true freshman, was seen in a sling during the open practice, which is on Sunday. I thought he was running a nice play. I was wrong. It was J.R. Gardner. We'll talk about him in just a second. So Daniel Hill in a sling. Let me talk about these freshmen first. Out of all these guys that you see currently on the screen, only one is in a position to start right now for the Alabama Crimson Tide, and that is Xavier Brown at the corner position. Opposite side is Damani Jackson, which is really incredible. He was starting for A-Day, okay? Currently, he has a small injury to his, I don't know if it's to his wrist, to his hand. All I know is that he has a club on his hand, and he was repping with the first team on Sunday. Now, during the scrimmage, he was with the threes only because of, the injury to his hand. I think if Alabama has a game this coming weekend, he's probably the starter. And I want to make something clear, too. When I was talking about Ryan Williams catching the touchdown pass, it was against Deshaun Jones. I have nothing against any of these players. I have nothing but the utmost respect for all of the players. So, but it is fact. He did go one-on-one against Deshaun Jones, and he did catch a touchdown pass against him. That physically happened. So, look, ACC or the SEC, it's hard. I mean, Ryan Williams is going to be that guy. But Xavier Brown, currently in the best position to start for the Alabama Crimson Tide, followed by Jalen Mbakwe. Now, Jalen Mbakwe, an in-state guy, won a state championship, absolute baller, probably the guy that really played the biggest impact in landing Ryan Williams other than, Roll Tide Willie, right? Jalen Mbakwe honestly gave him the full court press. I mean, remember Ryan Williams' recruiting situation when he was coming back here for the basketball games? I think he went to Auburn one time or whatever, but it was Jalen Mbakwe who not only played against him in the state championship game, but also helped recruit him 100%. He was getting reps with the ones during Saturday's scrimmage as well. I think he's ready to play. Jalen Mbakwe, Xavier Brown, those guys are going to play this year 100%. I think after that, I would probably say Red Morgan will get the next amount of playing time, or Caleb Odom. Let's start with Red Morgan. Red Morgan currently plays the Husky position. The Husky position right now, he's the number 2 behind Devontae Smith, right? And you're only one play away. But Red Morgan got some very positive praise from the coaches. He's ultra talented and probably, a little bit underrated in that class of 2024. Caleb Odom, I like the story of this. When I saw him play on TV, he was elite. I couldn't wait for him to get here. And I can't wait till Caleb Odom is starting alongside Ryan Williams and Rico Scott or Amari Jefferson or Latsier Brooks come in or Caleb Cunningham. The wide receivers, man, there is the depth is amazing at Alabama, and Caleb Odom is part of that depth. Now, he might not be in the first 6 for the wide receivers that are going to start, but I mean, he made probably the best play during the scrimmage, right? It was that one-handed snag that he had on the sideline from Austin Mack. I am glad that he moved from tight end to wide receiver. I want to see how fast his top end speed is, but in terms of his ability to make plays, he has it. So, look, I think Caleb Odom, and I've asked before, and I asked during the springtime, who will catch more, passes this year or yards, Caleb Odom or Ryan Williams. I think if I asked that right now, it would be Ryan Williams 100%. But Caleb Odom, he's going to play too. Now, the last freshman that I want to talk about in this graphic is Zay Mincy. Zay Mincy is he was 5-star. He's the biggest corner, 6'3", and I think after Jalen Mbakwe, he'd be next to get on the field. But I think that might change by the end of the season. As he continues to develop, Zay Mincy, who knows? I mean, this guy will I think he'd probably be a starter next year. He's like, Zay Mincy is the guy. I think Zay Mincy will play in the NFL. I mean, you come to Alabama to play in the NFL, but I think Zay Mincy, looking at his body type, 6'3", 200 pounds, the way he runs, physical attributes, man, that guy's got it. Zay Mincy's, man, if you were buying stock right now, buy all of the Zay Mincy stock that you can. Right? See, Eric D is saying same thing, man. Like, I feel, man, Eric, like, as he develops, I can't even imagine where this guy is by, like, I don't know, November. Right? He'll be here for almost a year. All right, let's I wanted to highlight this young man. This is a baller, okay? J.R. Gardner. So yesterday on my show, I made a mistake. Well, let's rewind. On Sunday, I went to the open scrimmage, and there was a running back that caught my attention. And because Jam Miller wasn't playing and didn't see a lot of Richard Young. So it was kind of, it was 11 on 11. And look, they were probably running like 80%. They weren't even tackling. Weren't even showing that much. Anyone in the universe could have went to that open practice. But this young man, number 41, I saw a running back hit the hole, and it was like right between the tackles, and he made a couple people miss. And he got to the second level, and he kind of kept on going. I thought it was Daniel Hill. Okay. I was corrected, and I made a mistake. I'm sorry about that. It was number 41, J.R. Gardner. So then I dove into it because I like his game. So he's a running back. He impressed. I think he had even a touchdown during the scrimmage. And, golf shoes. That's my bad. I do the graphics too, so I'm clearly not perfect. Golf shoes. Gulf Shores. I'll update that. But he's 5'11", 185 pounds out of Gulf Shores, not Gulf Shoes. He's a walk-on. Last year he played against Chattanooga, and I think he had a touchdown in the scrimmage on Saturday. So props to this young man for continuing to work hard. Can't wait to see. And look, a lot of these guys that walk on, like there was a walk-on a couple years ago. It was another running back. I think it was Jonathan Bennett. Jimmy, that's where you're at. The Gulf Shoes, man. Do you remember, was it Jonathan Bennett that was here? Man, the guy was an absolute monster, but he never played. And then I actually got in trouble because I asked about him one time. Like, he was looking good as well. And one of the SIDs at Alabama was like, just focus on the players that are actually going to play. But I thought he was nice. Remember, I think his name was what? Jonathan Bennett? Was that who he was? Oh, man. All right. So there was some of you who came in late, and Hugh Freeze had the comments. This is what we started out the show with. He said he should have had 4 wins against Nick Saban. We kind of dove into that, and he kind of made fun of Coach Hugh Freeze. But look, I think we all know that under Hugh Freeze, look, they've had some wild ones against Coach Saban. He's never faced Coach Kalen DeBoer. That game is going to have a lot on the line at the back end of the season. Can't wait to see it take shape and see, what's on the line. Usually you have, like, I think the way that Alabama's schedule works, isn't it Mercer, then Oklahoma, then Auburn? So those are tough back-to-back games. You go on the road to Norman, then come back here and play in the Iron Bowl. So you look at the coaches that Kalen DeBoer will have to face in the back end of the season. It's challenging. Eli Drinkwitz, Josh Heupel, Brian Kelly, Brett Venables, Hugh Freeze. And then after that, let's say Alabama's number 1 or number 2 at this point in time during the SEC rankings. Then you have to play the next game. I don't know. Let's just say it's Steve Sarkisian or Kirby Smart or Lane Kiffin. Like, that's a hell of a, stretch at the back end of the season. And I can't wait to see how many teams from the SEC are able to, if you thought last year the playoff was too stressful. Like, getting those 4 teams in, I didn't like that. It felt wrong. The way that they did the playoffs it felt dirty. Florida State was like suing people. But it was like, I didn't like that. How many people have blocked Bipolar? I didn't even see Bipolar inside the chat. Is he an Auburn fan or something? But it's going to be a hell of a backstretch for the Alabama Crimson Tide on that back end. So I just wanted to kind of bring that to your attention today. So we covered Hugh Freeze's comments. We talked about AK Deer. We talked about the AP football rankings. Bama's number 5. I think they're number 5 in the coaches poll as well. Toughest Bama road game. We went over the top Alabama duo. We talked about the top freshman other than Hollywood, Ryan Williams. And we explained who J.R. Gardner is, and he's from Gulf Shores, not Gulf Shoes. So that's what we got today on the show, and I appreciate you guys calling in. Tomorrow, I'll open up the phone lines, and I'll take your guys' call. Remember, Alabama has practice today on Tuesday, and we'll upload those press conferences and highlights your way. They'll have another scrimmage on Saturday. We will keep you posted as news comes in right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Remember, we're on Spotify. We're on Facebook, TikTok. I don't have an Instagram. I have a personal Instagram, Mr. Kyle Henderson. I don't even post. But you can follow us on those platforms, but check it out on Spotify if you're driving around or whatever. And then news as it happens. So, breaking story, I'll be live. And every single day, Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. It seems to be a good time for me to be able to get on and, communicate and have my shows right here on Bama Football on YouTube. So I appreciate you guys being here, rocking with me this morning on Bama Football on YouTube. Thank you very much for becoming a fan funder of the show. Only $2.99 to support the product. Yes, Brent, I'll be. I got you covered on game day for sure. I will be all over the place. So I appreciate you. Jordan, I go live 9 a.m. Central Time, Monday through Friday. 9 a.m. Monday through Friday. Central Time. All right. Or as news happens. Like if there's a breaking story or something happens, I got you. Cool. Let's see. Damien says, why are so many people doubting Coach Kalen DeBoer? Like Paul Feinbaum. Says like Texas, Georgia, Ole Miss over us. I understand Georgia, but come on, man. KD beat Texas twice with less. And he beat Dan Lanning too, right? And he beat Lincoln Riley. I think, look, well, number one, I mean, Paul Feinbaum, just like anybody, they work off ratings, right? They want to be able to have, kind of a platform to talk about. I kind of appreciated how Lane Kiffin, kind of went after Paul Feinbaum a little bit and talking about, like why is he always kind of, going after him. But Lane Kiffin, I mean, he's won games. He only lost 2 games last year, Alabama and Georgia. Coach Kalen DeBoer, people are going to, this is why. I'll tell you why that people don't probably have as much respect as they should for Coach Kalen DeBoer. It's because he's coming to the SEC from the Pac-12. That's it. And people in SEC country do not respect the Pac-12, right? I mean, point number one, there's only 2 teams in the Pac-12. You get what I'm saying, right? Historically, we've seen it happen many times. Like, if a team from, prior to Coach Kalen DeBoer, like if a team, remember that team from Washington? I thought they were really good when Bo Scarborough ran all over against them. People just don't respect the Pac-12. So it's not so much Coach Kalen DeBoer because he's won where he's gone, but it's the Pac-2, right? People here, I could ask the neighbors in my neighborhood, what do you guys think about the Pac-12? They don't respect it. So that's why. But other than that, I mean, if you like, he'll prove it. It's just going to take him a little bit of time, which is fine. You have to have some reverse rat poison. And as nice as he is, I think he's got that fire burning down. And we'll see it at some point in time. Exactly. Right. Yeah. And Lynn, you're exactly right. I mean, the more drama, the more dramatic the show, the bigger the ratings. That's just how it works. But I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. Kyle Henderson, Bama Football on YouTube. Definitely hit the thumbs up. And, I rerun the show at as a replay at 12. So don't be alarmed if you see the show go off again. It's just, there's 106,000 subscribers, so not everybody can see the show at this time or whatever. So the show will do a replay at 12 p.m. And sometimes I'm in the chat box. You can come with me. But news as it happens right here on Bama Football on YouTube. From beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama, my name is Kyle Anderson at Bama Football on YouTube. Thank you very much for joining me today. I will catch you as news happens or tomorrow, which is Wednesday, August 14th, right here at Bama Football on YouTube at 9 a.m. Central Time. Have a beautiful day, fam. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for being here with me right here.